Hey, uh, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, um, to another plenary session. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful session so far with the guest facilitators that we've invited to come and take you guys on some of these very interesting topics that we've covered in the internship. Today, we are going to have like a two-in-one package. I will be talking about the technicalities of a successful writing career or business, and then the subtleties. So I will first talk about the technicalities, the hard cores, those essentials, those very hard cores that you need to know to make your professional journey, your career a success. And then we also look at what are the subtleties, those not so obvious essentials that make for career or business success. So for the hard course, we'll be looking at such technicalities as personal application, skill acquisition, structure, system, customer acquisition, customer retention, talent acquisition, talent retention, and then cash flow. Some of these things, they sound, these are a big business um, lexicons. How do they appear to, how do they relate to writing, career, or business? But this internship is supposed to give you guys a mixture of exposure into either you are pursuing your writing as a freelancer, as a business, or you're also actually even working in an organization. And how do you just learn some of these skills and how do you apply them to what you do in any of those capacities? So that is why you would, and it's a very short slide. So the first hardcore or technical concern that you need to take note of to make your career, and it's not just writing alone, it can be anything, any field you find yourself exploring. Personal application, that matters a lot. There's usually what makes for success and failure. It's usually mostly personal in terms of principles. Principles are there for everyone to access, for everyone to follow, to observe, or to implement. But how you apply some of the fundamental principles of success is what determines the very successful, the averagely successful, and then the struggling or the laggards, and then the failures. All of us in life, we have 24 hours credited to our life account on a daily basis. But what do we do with our 24 hours credit? Is what also determines if we end up being successful in life or if we end up being an average life. And that is very important. That personal application. How do you apply yourself to what you do? How do you apply yourself in terms of time management? How do you apply yourself in terms of interpersonal relationship management? How do you apply yourself to work? How do you apply yourself to what you do? What are those things that distinguish you as an individual from the next person, from your colleague, from your peers, from your contemporaries? Those personal stuff are very, very, very important. And those details, as minute as they may be, are what distinguish the successful from the failing. So, in terms of as a hardcore of for career success, for business success, you have got to what to be very conscious of what you do. Be conscious, be deliberate in the way you do things, in the way you apply yourself to what you do, how you do them. The personal application matters a lot. And that is the very number one core of career or business success. The next thing is skill acquisition. All of us, whatever we are doing, we can always enhance our skill. If you set your mind on doing something and then you want to know more about what you do, you want to become better at it, that means, okay, you need to upgrade your skill. If maybe there's a new skill that will make what you are doing to be better delivered, to be delivered even quickly, more, I mean, faster than you've been doing it, or even cheaper, then that means you want to acquire those skills. So, in terms of scaling, you can be talking of acquiring new skills, you can be talking of improving or enhancing your present skill set. So you can retool yourself, that's to enhance your skill set, or you can what you can actually just acquire a entirely new skill. So you've got to what to acquire the skill that you need to deliver in your field so that you can be successful. Whatever name you are called, if you are called a teacher, that means you need to acquire skills that will make you an excellent teacher. Now there are many, there are God knows will be millions or hundreds of millions of people that teach, but it's not all of them who can be described as excellent teachers. So you need to know what are those things that make for excellence in this thing I'm doing, that makes for success, that will make me distinguished or different from the rest. And you've got to what to acquire those skills. So skill acquisition is very, very important. It's a hardcore for career success, for business success, no matter the field you find yourself in. I mean, fulfilling your career or maybe business. You need to what acquire the relevant skills that will enhance your success in that field, that will facilitate your breakthrough, that will position you above the rest in your field. Then the next call is structure. In terms of everything we do, until you put a structure to them, it just makes what you do to be random. Your work will be random if it's not structured. And structure speaks to organization, modeling, templating. If you are, let's say, it's talking maybe a writer or a teacher, how do you teach? What are the structure, what are the formats you put into your teaching, into your curriculum dispensation, into the writing that you do? Structure, I mean, as a business, there's no business that will succeed without a structure. So how do you structure what you do? Structure helps you to know that. So this thing that you are doing, you can replicate the process over and over and over without losing quality, because the structure helps you to know what to do at point A to point B, point C to D to Z. Structure is what keeps an organization running. That's why you see maybe in some organizations, businesses, I mean, people have to leave for whatever reasons, either they are disgruntled, they are dissatisfied, or they find a better opportunity. But once somebody leaves an organization, the organization doesn't collapse, even if the person is holding a very major title or role in the organization. Why? It's because of structure. Because human beings are the ones that run the structure, but the structure is there to shook human beings inside. So just as it's a work for organization, it can also work for what? For personal skill set as well, whatever you do. So if you have a particular solution that you deliver, how do you structure it? How do you structure your solution? How do you structure your skill in such a way that even if you don't have too much time, or so maybe you have so many things you're working on at the same time, the structure helps you to know, oh, I need to work on these two projects at the same time. I know what to do. When I'm doing this, I'm starting at this point for this particular one. I'm starting at this point for this particular one, because you already have a structure in place to guide you, a template, a model. Then the next core is systems. System also is related to structure, but in a bit different way. Systems is what makes that your structure to be self-sustaining, to be self-running. That even if, I mean, you have maybe like There's even you don't have enough people, you don't have enough time, but you have your structure in place. Systems now give the structure a self-running ability. Now you still need humans to power the system or the structure, but system is there to what, to underpin your structure so that the structure doesn't now even crash. Because without systems in place, systems speaks to your accounting, to your management principles, to your operational model and all that. So those are systems that help your structure to remain intact. They are similar, they are akin, but they also do different, they perform different functions in helping you to be successful. Structure speaks to the format, system speaks to the process. And for you to succeed in your career, if you have this mindset in the career you are pursuing, you will excel more than your contemporaries or your colleagues, right? Because your own level of thinking is different. When you hear design thinking, you think in a systematic manner, not in the way that every other person thinks. Most of us, I always say that most of us will just jump into things without much thinking. I always say that my favorite people are people that think. Think. If you just invest so much thought into what you need to do, you will see that your result will be different from the next person, from others. So structure and systems help you. And because it may not be so obvious because it doesn't involve too much effort. It involves lots of thinking. Most of us don't like to do it because I'm just thinking about what do I need to do. I just want to do. Most of what you want to do things, put me to work, give me something to do. We are not thinking about how is the work even going to be generated. What are the things that need to be done in the work? What are the details to be done at different levels, different stages of the work? That is why you have management. Those are the things that management concerns itself about. Most of us who work at the operation, we just want to tell me what to do and I will do it. We don't want to be the one to think or to fret about the processing, which can be quite enervating. It can sap you of so much calorie. But for you, you are working as a lone ranger, you are working as a freelancer, you are working alone, or you are starting a business based on what you've learned. How do you go about it in a way that you will make your enterprise to succeed? Then customer acquisition. Now you have your structure, you have your systems in place. How do you now acquire customer? That means you need to what? Also invest in your customer acquisition strategy. How do you get customers? What are the strategies in place? What are the taxes you have in place that would help you to acquire customers? Are you going to be marketing? Where are you marketing? Is it on social media? Are you just sending text messages? Are you making cold calls? Are you doing direct email? You have to know, okay, what is the best strategy for you to be able to get customers? Because you can't you can't last long in a freelance career or even in business if you don't have customers to come and patronize your solutions. So how are you going to get customers? And this is more or less speaking to those who want to just run the career, solo as a freelancer. Then there's also retention. When you have them, how do you retain them? It's one thing to acquire, it's another thing to retain. So when you acquire customers, how do you retain them? Do they just do one off with you and they don't come again? And no, it's been said that there is a repeat business that actually help the businesses to what? To grow, to flourish. When customers who already trust you, already comfortable with your style of working and all that, when they keep coming back, it helps the business. But if you have to spend so much energy to be acquiring new customers, you wouldn't have much time to do the real work itself. So customer retention is cheaper than customer acquisition because those whose trust and confidence you have already won, it's easy to just get them to keep talking to you to do their work. Unlike when you have to spend so much energy, you have to make phone calls, attend meetings, brief, and we are not even sure at the end of the day that it will give you the work. So it's cheaper to retain your customers than to acquire new ones. And that's why they always tell you in business schools that you should invest so much in your customer service so that you can retain your customers. Because it costs much more to what to replace a customer that is lost. Another thing you need to know is talent acquisition. How do you acquire talent? At some point in your career, if you are running a freelance operations or you are running a business, you will need to, you see that you can't do everything on your own. You need people who will be able to also join you in pushing the wheel forward in delivering your solutions, in delivering your goods. So how do you acquire talent? Talent in terms of your operations, talent in terms of the various other things that you need to do. Where do you look for them? You need somebody who can do maybe design. Where do you get designers? You need somebody who can do web. Where do you get a web person? You need somebody who can maybe write. Where do you get other writers? You need somebody who can do it. Where do you get them? You've got to know, okay, what are the sources where you can get good talent to join you, to partner you in delivering your goods. And it's either you have them maybe full-time in freelance capacity or maybe contract. But you've got to know where you can shop this talent. It is very important. Are you going to referrals? Are you going to, is there a talent market where you can get people from? Or do you have, maybe you belong to an association where you can easily just get referrals who can give you somebody to work with you, either full-time, part-time, or contract basis? And then how do you retain them? What are the terms of retaining them? What do you need to do to retain talent so that they don't come and then go at very regular interval? This is also very important. We're talking about customer acquisition. We're also talking about talent retention. And this is very common in our part of the world, is uh, talent just coming and going here because everybody, uh, maybe I would say Nigeria, in third world, everybody wants to do their thing. And you yourself, if you look at yourself, imagine if you're even the one being hired, what are you thinking about? What are you already thinking of your own thing, your own side gig and all that? And that is a major issue for businesses, particularly small businesses in our own hemisphere, where it's so difficult for you to be able to retain them because they're already thinking of the next thing. As they're even working with you, they're already applying for other roles. So how do you retain talent, even with the meager salary you have, even with the meager resources that you have at your disposal? So these are also things that you need to know. What are the strategy? What are the techniques you're going to use to retain? Are you giving them percentage of maybe the job you get? Is it money you want to use money to retain them? You want to use other perks to retain talent. So you have to know, how do you retain them? Then cash flow, very important. And I think this is the last one we are going to look at in hard cores, in technicalities. How do you sustain your operations, be it freelance, be it a small business? How do you sustain what you're doing? Because once you even start running business, you already start having cash flow issues. Because there are some things that you need money to do to power your business. Otherwise, it will be no business. There are bills, government bills, maybe there are taxes you need to pay. If you have a website, you need to purchase domain name, you need to purchase hosting accounts, you need to also get some other funds that you need to also do some things around the web. Social media, you need to promote your pages or your accounts. Those things cost money. Some of them monthly, some of them annually. How do you ensure that your operations generate enough money to be able to sustain all those processes that you need to have in place? How do you ensure that your operation has enough cash, at his disposal to be able to meet all the needs. And it's very important. Okay, if you're even working with freelancers, you're working, how do you ensure that you are even paying them so that they can stay? Because the thing with Nigerian workers is that money is very important. The average Nigerian worker doesn't work for passion or whatever. They're working for at the end of the month, give me my money. So how do we ensure that you have enough to be able to help them to also meet their own obligations, financial obligations? So cash flow is very important. You have to be very disciplined to manage cash flow as it's flowing in and out of your businesses. Where is the cash flowing from? Is it flowing from the work that you do, the services you deliver to your clients, or is flowing from somewhere else? And then if it's flowing out, is it flowing out to service the business or the operations itself, or is servicing other things that are not related to your work? If you keep spending money on things that are not related to your work, to your business operations, that's not a sustainable idea. The business will not last long because that means you are not investing in the business, you're not investing in your operations, you are investing somewhere else. Or you are making money to go somewhere, except what you are actually spending money on is also going to generate enough fund to keep you going. So you have to be very disciplined. This is why businesses really fail. In the other ones, I mean, once you have grit, you are smart, you can always walk around them. But if you cannot manage cash flow, any business that cannot attract cash flow will die. You just die because the cash flow is like the blood of the business. If there's no blood running through any human's body, any living thing's body, that human is going to die. So the cash flow is the blood of any business. It must be flowing. So you must do all you need to do to ensure that cash is flowing in. That's through your marketing, through your acquisition, through your retention strategies, and then ensure that the flow is flowing in at regular frequency, and then it's flowing out towards the right causes, towards the right ends, not non-essential. Not that you get your major deal, and the next thing is want to take a trip to Dubai to go and no. Is that Dubai trip going to help you to do your work better, faster, to get more customers? Then go. But if not, if it's not related to what you are doing, then please don't spend cash on it because that is wasted resources. And most of us who are young, just starting business, will make this mistake a lot. The first money we make that is major, we just spend them on things that are not essential to our business. So we need to be very, very careful about this. I think this is part one. Let me open the second slide so that. So this is the second part of the subtleties and technicalities of a successful business or career, successful business or career that you want to either writing or in any field that you find yourself. So we've considered the hard truths. I mean, the hard cores. Now we are looking at hard truths, truths that you may never be taught in school about, okay, what are the things you need to know to make your career a success, to make your business a success. And okay, we're going to skip this because this is usually done at the end of the internship, but you are different because yours is the first set where we are having like a double deal in terms of the internship. We are doing the writing and communication skills, and then you're also doing the digital communication and technical or technological driven part of the internship. So I usually take this towards the end of the normal internship. But now, this just sort of signals like the end. I think you still have another session next week where you are supposed to hear from one of our guest facilitators who was able to transit from editorial career to digital, and the guy works at the World Bank now. But before then, let's just look at this. And firstly, we'll look at the meaning of subtlety. What does subtlety means? is something that is not so obvious, something that is hard to notice. It's usually below the eyes. You don't see something is subtle. That is, it's not so obvious to our understanding, to our grasp. It's there all the same, but it's not so empirical, it's not so tangible for us to be able to grasp it. But like there's a saying that the devil is in the details. These subtleties are part of the details that either make or mar a career. And sorry, like I said, we'll skip some of the maybe some of the slide and just go straight to the meat of the presentation so that we can have time for questions if there is any. And some of the subtleties that we'll look at is the subtleties of pattern and calling. When you are exploring a career option, you should look at what are the patterns of my life? What calling do I have on my head that helps me to know what I'm supposed to actually be doing? And these patterns help you to connect the dots of your life, of your processes, of your practice, and help you to also identify similar patterns, similar experiences, similarities in your activities, in what you do, in where you find yourself, in the kind of people you mingle with as your friends, in the kind of things that happen to you. It's very important. You won't see it etched on a stone or written on a wall, but you get to know them through meditation, through observation. So the first subtlety is that of pattern and calling. Some of us we are in this group because we are thinking, writing an editorial, but are you called to it? Or whatever it is you are doing now, are you called to do that thing? What are the patterns in your life that actually help you to know that this is what I'm meant to be doing? This is the right thing for me to be doing at this point in time in my life. You've got to be very observant of your life. You've got to be a student, or a researcher of your own life to be able to know what are the patterns that will indicate your calling for you. Am I supposed to be a writer? Am I supposed to be a business person? Am I supposed to be maybe somebody, a deputy who helps somebody else to achieve their purpose in life? Now, the point is that it's not every one of us that is called to mount the rostrum or be on the pulpit or be on the wherever where we are on the platform. Some are meant to just help those who are doing the work. But it's also easy to just deceive ourselves and think, okay, me too, I'm supposed to mount the stage and be talking or I'll be the one that is being seen as you just know your calling. I think it was this said that somebody asked me, oh, you saw that maybe I'm a bit of maybe an introverted person myself. How do I do this and all that? I was like, well, I'm not even somebody who I don't like too much publicity. I like to just do my thing behind this and just leave it. So I know myself. I don't have to be competing for stage with somebody. What I do them but just to satisfy my conscience, to satisfy my maker, and I don't care what the person thinks or doesn't think, because I've come to know myself to that point. So you've got to know what are the patterns of your life that indicates what you're supposed to do. And then the other thing is that once you've now even settled on what you're supposed to do, there's a process for apprenticeship. You've got to learn from somebody who has done what you want to do before, or who is doing it, so that you can actually get a hands-on experience. In fact, I think at the point of starting this, that's why the internship was just okay, just do your teaching, do your learning, do your writing, and then everybody goes. We now have to introduce the apprenticeship session to the internship. So it's no longer just okay, you come for the training, the plenary, and then you write in your group and you go. No, we now also want to help you to learn the apprenticeship process. So this internship now has two parts. The internship, when you guys we don't even call it internship really. It's when you guys are just learning. The apprenticeship now gives you opportunity to practice some of the things you have been learning by writing them, by being taking over some assignments that we assign to you from time to time, and then delivering on them. And I don't know, maybe I had a discussion with you guys. That apprenticeship is usually more tedious than this one. This one you just come to attend plenary every Thursday or every Friday or every Wednesday whenever it's old, and you go and then you write in your group. This one you are being monitored. The monitoring is closer. You are being checked. You are being graded. You are being fined, so that you know that work is a serious thing. So you know your part, you know your calling. You've got to now go to work to learn about it, to get first-hand experience, to go and serve, so that you can get the experience. Apprenticeship doesn't mean, I mean, it's not always enjoyable, because you are treated like you are nobody. You are like somebody, as if you are a starter, as if you are a novice, and that's because you are there to learn. You are not there to come and start enjoying the hard dough. That is after you finished. So it's never such a pleasant experience for anyone. It's a learning experience. You, one manner of things come to you, you just take them and take them as part of the lessons of life you are going to learn, and then you apply them to your own game. And then talking about apprenticeship, now talk of dues. We have people that said, I've paid my dues. When you say you have paid your dues, that is just, I mean, like relative to the apprenticeship. What dues have you paid to justify the success you are looking for in life, or that you desire in life? Have you really paid your dues? Have you really paid your dues? And and as I said, apprenticeship just gives an opportunity to what, to say you've paid your dues. Because we just fed away. People just come, they learn, and then they go. I mean, so what happens? They just fizzle out. All the things you've learned, you are not able to put them to practice. And that's why we introduced that apprenticeship. It's called the refinery, where you get to what, to also put to practice what you have been learning. Do more research, do more thinking, follow more due process, and you'll be given feedback. You won't like those feedback. You'll be chastised. Nobody likes being chastised. You will be guided, you'll be corrected. So that you can what? You can become a better person, a better professional, so that at the end of the day, you emerge finer and fitter for purpose. And that is what that. So by the time you can boldly say that I've paid my dues. If you now find yourself out of that, that's why we call it refinery, because refinery is where the crude is being refined, where gold is being refined, where crude is being refined. You refine stuff for them to become precious. So our refinery is where we really drill people. You guys are not seeing many people. I don't know how many of you joined when you started, but you can imagine how many of you are remaining now. And I always say that, I mean, it doesn't even bother me. I don't care how many, but the average is well between 3-4 people at the end of every set. No matter the number, you may be like 80. By the time the program is coming to an end, it will be the survival of the fittest. Those who are, and it doesn't mean that you are the best, really. There are people who may be probably more skilled than you are, probably more whatever, but it's just so that you are the fittest. That's what it says. And when you now also now join the apprenticeship, it's even crazier then. If you think this, I mean, maybe we are exacting you now, wait until you are ready for the apprenticeship. And I think by now, I mean, I've even done this. You should be talking of being integrated into that apprenticeship. So Mary will be coordinating that with you guys, so that you can be integrated into the apprenticeship. At least those who are remaining, those who have met the minimum requirements that are required of them. And I mean, I was putting my own, some of these things I do, actually started them even before campus. Writing has always been something I've been doing since. Written many plays that even when I was young, we were practicing them, or dramatizing them in my neighborhood, in my church. And then, getting to school, I joined the campus press. And I was, God help me, I did quite well, and became quite popular on campus. And campus, nobody's paying you. In fact, I will be using, because I became the editor-in-chief of my press organization in the hall. I was also president in my association. It's money they gave me to be taking care of myself. I will be spending them on these organizations just to ensure that our programs are held, our things are running. Because just like once you start something and it has a corporate guide to it, you have to continue to maintain and run it. And God knows why I even started ready writers, did several unpaid jobs for people. Some of them promised to pay, they don't pay. I can't be fighting them. But when you're talking of deals, I paid those deals then. And then you also work with people who are dubious. Some of them, maybe they even work with you. Some of them come as employees. And then they start to do all manner of things. Maybe they go and put your clients at the back. And so we are talking of this, but the thing I've known about nature, about providence, that providence is, most of us, we just think it because nobody is watching us, we can get away with certain things. But no, there's nothing you do in life that you actually get away with. Everybody will be given their just reward. Everybody will also get their just penalties for whatever they do. That principle has always been with me. So do something. So everybody will get the dues. And when you see some people, they are doing well, you need to ask questions. What have they done in the past? What are the dues they've paid? Or you see some people, they look so good, they look so fancy, and they are struggling, or they are having bitter experiences. Go beyond now. What could they have done in the past that is causing that? Dues. And some, it may not be what you've done, maybe just the time is just not yet right. And it will come eventually. And then in terms of subtleties, you've got to be somebody who's committed to excellence. You want to build a successful career, a successful business, you've got to make excellence your mantra, because it will help you to build a reputation for what? For excellent delivery, quality work. The point is that most human beings, most workers, and that is the truth, 80% of people are not interested in what makes for excellence. We just want to do what will make us get by. We don't want to put in any extra effort. Just do what is the minimum requirement, and we do it. Now there will be areas of your life where you actually do minimum requirements and you are fine. But once you identify your core, what is core to you, what is integral to you, what is very important to your success in life, to your excellence there, to your productivity in life, then you've got to be biased in terms of excellence to service such cause, such areas with the whole of your vigor. After all, the Bible says that whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. See, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. And when you build that reputation of excellence, it helps you. People start to know you, and they start to refer you to others. So, oh, this person, this organization, this lady can help us to do this. Let's talk to him. And I always give examples of TLW Consult. Some of the biggest jobs we've had, there are places like I can never even imagine of going. But because of reputation of excellence, people were like, no, it's those people that can do this work. Then preparation, very important. You want to succeed in life, you want to thrive, you want to excel, you've got to be prepared. And preparation involves mental preparation, emotional preparation, spiritual preparation, physical preparation. How have you prepared yourself mentally for success, for the heights that you dream of? Some of us, we dream of so much height, and our level of knowledge is so far from what we are dreaming of. And you think it doesn't work. See, somebody says that grace will take you to a place where character may not be able to sustain the person. So that character could be learning, could be knowledge, could be your exposure, your experience. So it's not just to say, okay, I want to become the head of state of the country. Do you have the mental requirement it takes to be the head of state? And that's one of the problems we have in our country. People want to just be what they are not mentally prepared, what they are not emotionally prepared to do, and they get it, they just start to flounder, they start to mess up. Why? Because maybe the connection got them to that place, but they don't have the mental capacity, the emotional capacity, even the physical stamina to be able to maintain the demands or to fit the requirements of that office. So let's look at it in terms of your own life. You want to be this. Do you think you have the resources it takes to get there mentally? Do you know enough? Is your emotions, your inner workings, are they up to the level of that status that you desire for yourself? Is your health able to maintain the rigor of being in that office? Because there are some offices that, and then they just start to what? The person start to weaken, start to stagger. Why? Because they are not physically enabled to manage the rigors of such status. And then in terms of spiritual, we all know that we are all spiritual beings. How spiritually attuned to you, because and then the forces of darkness, the forces of this is always prevalent, is always around us. Because that is constant. Something is rising, something is pulling it down. How are you sure you have enough to keep you going up? So that if you are going up and the force that want to pull you down, the force that is pushing you higher is stronger than the one trying to drag you down. Spiritual stamina, spiritual energy. Do you have enough of it? Where do you source your spiritual energy from? And then another subtlety is continuous development. After attaining, do you think you've arrived? You can't rest on your laurels. You can't leverage on yesterday's glory. You've got to always be thinking of getting a newer one, another one, because that is life. You can't continue to rest on your past glory, on your past history. You need something for the future. You need something that you're always pursuing. That's why they say that champions stay hungry, because the best is always ahead. You can't have your best in the past. No, that's an abomination. Your best work. My best work, I've not produced it yet. I've not produced my best effort yet, because the best is always ahead. It can't be what you've done in the past. That must be the mindset you have as somebody who is going to achieve. And then you must be willing to accept feedback from people that know you, people that you work with, people that maybe your clients, your people that are invested in your life, and they give you feedback. Take them on board, process them. It's not all feedback that are maybe positive or that are actually constructive, but at least listen to them. Then you will know, and if you are really candid, you will know the ones that are in your interest and the ones that are not even related to you. Then be open to opportunities. Don't close yourself in. You may be an introvert, but you've got to still, we all operate in the world. So you've got to also be a social animal indeed. Be able to open yourself to opportunities, open yourself to things are going on around you. Seek to know. Don't, because I'm an introvert, then you don't even know what is happening in your community, what is happening in the world. How can you be able to know when there's an opportunity for something and you position yourself for it? Or you are a news writer, I'm an introvert. How do you know the latest news? Or you are in this career, you don't know what is going. How do you know the latest trend in your field, in your industry? So you may be introverted, but that doesn't stop you from opening yourself up to opportunities, opening yourself to what to just soaking the world in. There are in this virtual world, you can only join any online platforms, and then you don't have to talk. Just be listening, just be reading Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups that are related to what you do, and you just soak it in. You can't work in isolation. You can't thrive in isolation. We all need each other. And then seek mentoring. Seek to know from somebody who has done what you intend to do, and how they failed, how they succeeded. Learn from the example. Either you are doing that physically, directly or indirectly. You can have mentors who don't even know you, but you are learning from them. You are soaking things from them. Yeah, that is the end of our session for today. Do you have any questions, please? Questions.